Hi, my name is Jenny, and this video is brought to you by Career Development. Today we'll be constructing your cover letter. A cover letter is a professional document that supplements your resume when applying to internship and job opportunities. So why use a cover letter? A cover letter allows you to elaborate on a few important things, like your interest in the position, your strengths, your qualifications, and also some relevant and previous experience. Additionally, a cover letter will allow you to differentiate yourself from other candidates. So ultimately, the reason why you want to utilize a cover letter is to connect yourself between the job. Some things that they're going to be looking for and what you want to be on the lookout for are skills in the job description compared to what you have and how you've utilized it, as well as previous experience that you can show similarities to. So now that we've talked about why you should be using a cover letter, let's get started. So here's a snapshot of how we're going to be building our cover letter. First, we'll talk about the contact heading, then move into what should be included in your introduction, then what components make your body paragraph, and then finishing off with how to close. So your contact heading should remain the same as your resume. Some reasons why you would not be able to do this is if your cover letter is taking the form of an email or if it's being included in a text box in an online application. The components of your contact heading should be moved to the left. These include your name, your address, your phone number, and an appropriate email. Be sure that your dates match the date of submission for your application. Also, be sure to reread the application instructions so you are addressing your cover letter to the appropriate personnel. Remember, it's a letter, so these are some various ways to address your cover letter. Of course, we do not know if he or she is married, so play it safe and say Mr. or Mrs. and their last name. If you are unsure of the gender of the person you are addressing the cover letter to, you can write their full name. For example, a name like Taylor Johnson. If you are not sure, go ahead and just say, Dear Taylor Johnson. Using these various salutations allows us to avoid the dated to whom this may concern address. Now moving into the introduction and what we want to include. First, you want to make sure that you state the position. Follow that up with telling the reader how you heard about the position. Then of course, 1 to 2 sentences on your interest in the position, followed by a short summary of who you are and why you are qualified, and you would be a good fit. Let's look at this example. Please accept this letter and attached resume for the position of Customer Service and Management Intern with the Trump International Beach Resort in Miami. I became aware of the position through your posting on CareerShark with Nova Southeastern University. I am currently working on my business management degree at NSU. This internship opportunity speaks directly to my interest in management, specifically within the hospitality industry. What we've done here is stated the position we are applying to and which company it's with, then followed by how we found out about it, and then speaking really to the position. Our fourth component is the last sentence of your introduction. Here's an example. I believe my past experiences, academic and professional, coupled with my communication, leadership, and ability to provide quality customer service to others makes me an ideal candidate for the position. Be sure that this last sentence is restructured to capture your skills. This is going to be a transition into your body paragraphs. Before going into what components are included in the body paragraphs, we're going to prepare on how to talk about ourselves. First, you want to figure out what themes we should focus on, like your education, your skill set, and your strengths, as well as previous and relevant positions. Then, we also want to analyze the job description. Be sure to look at the major responsibilities of the position, as well as required skills and qualifications that they list. And last but not least, be sure that you do your homework and research the company. Look at their mission statement, goals, current and future projects that you'll be interested in, and you could potentially mention these in your body paragraphs. Now, what to put in your body paragraphs. This is your chance to express to the employer that you understand the responsibilities associated with the job, as well as you being able to connect yourself to the position. Here's an example of some sentences that would go into a body paragraph. I understand that in order to be a successful account manager, this position requires an ability to build meaningful connections with potential clients. What we want to do next is follow up this skill and how you have developed it. As a previous sales representative for XYZ company, I have experience creating connections with potential clientele through frequent sales calls, attending networking events, and designating follow-up meetings with generated leads. So what we've done here is identified a skill that is going to be associated with the position and then followed up with our own example with our previous experience. To review the breakdown process of how to make a body paragraph, what we want to do first is ask yourself, what's the skill and what's the job requirement? Then, how can you relate to that? And then end with examples that you can relate and show that you have and have utilized this skill. Now we'll move into some tips on what to avoid in your body paragraphs. First, the use of bullet points. Try to minimize that as much as you can. We want to stay away from generic statements and fluff, like saying you have people skills or that you're a team player. Abbreviations. Be sure that you're explaining what something stands for before using an abbreviation later on in the document. Minimize the qualifiers that are in your body paragraph. Qualifiers are things like, I feel that, I think that. What these do are they weaken the rest of your sentence. You can simply cut this off and start the sentence after that. And then of course, overusing the word I. Yes, we are talking about ourselves, but we need to be mindful of how many sentences we are starting with the word I. So for example, I have had experience in. Something that you can say instead is, my experience includes. And lastly, here are some helpful reminders for your cover letter overall. Send the letter to the appropriate person. Again, avoid to whom it may concern, dear sir or dear madam. Match your stationery. Match your contact heading to your resume. Make sure to provide specific examples when you're talking about any skills, strengths, and any relevant or previous experience, so anything is not left to be subjective. Also, count the I's in your letter. Once you reach 3 or 4, try to look back and see if you can rewrite these sentences. And then of course, always proofread your letter. You can have someone that you know reread it, or if you would like, come to career development and a career advisor would be happy to help you. Remember, your cover letter and resume represent you, so build something that reflects that and make sure that you leave a lasting impression.